being able to affect space or being constructed of space. I've seen different translations and different arguments for it. This could be shown with Kenny slicing literal space, like Grimmy ripped a hole into space and he just sliced it as if he could interact with that.
Okay. I think I get it. I think I get it. So you're saying that Ichigo can interact with Naruto? That's cool. But like, why is Ichigo stronger?
Why is it? I think the relative.
Whatever your character is, whatever your character is.
What's that?
I said, why is your character stronger?
Wait, is this Naruto versus Ichigo?
Yes. It's I forgot the name of. You said something else.
It's Horn of Salvation Ichigo versus SO6Ps Naruto.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was a transformation. I see.
Yeah, it's the final form of Ichigo in the manga versus the final form of Naruto in the.
All right. So why is Ichigo stronger again?
I think they're relative in strength. I think that they can damage one another. I'm saying that Ichigo using like his Ryatsu would allow him to kind of get through Naruto's defenses and cut him, whereas Naruto would have to overcome the you have things like Soul Crush. You'd have to show that Naruto has a strong enough.
All right. So you said that Ryatsu and physical capacity correlate to each other. So like if you think they're relative in strength, that should also mean Naruto's chakra should be relative to Ichigo's Ryatsu, so he shouldn't get spiritual crust. Or am I wrong about that?
He wouldn't. I'm not saying that he would get. It wouldn't be like an Aizen to a lieutenant, but in terms of relativity, we've seen people with slightly larger or stronger spirits or relative spiritual pressures being able to physically restrict. It might make him lag in speed. It might make it hard for him to breathe, or in extreme cases, which I'm not saying when we get to the extreme case, but people have seizures or pass out, like when Momo Yamamoto.
Okay, so even if they're relative in strength, why is he fast enough to catch Naruto with such a technique?
I feel like he has more blatant speed feats in the show, such as reaching the soul from the Soul Palace to the Soul Society in 9 hours, where it takes a week via Shunpo. If you want to go off of the data book statement in the Soul Society arc and say that Shunpo is lightning speed, which that's like for Captain Tears, which he was fighting a captain, obviously it's Captain Tear, it would have taken him going at lightning speed a week to get there, but he got it in 9 hours, which is a drastic decrease in time.
Okay, so is that like faster than light or something?
Is it faster than light? I don't know if I don't know if it's faster than light exactly. I'd say it's like at the very least relativistic. Probably light speed, at least, considering that we've seen them dodge light attacks.
Damn.
Wait. Okay. Which light attacks? Are you talking about the spiritual like crap?
I'm talking about like the Nagashionne light, which is like from all what we've seen of it, from like its description, from its showings in the anime and the manga, how it travels in a linear straight path, how it is described to be comprised of either reishi, which would be particles, or Ryatsu, which would be energy, which doesn't have mass to begin with. So if it's a particle and nothing heavier, then what we have to go on, like the only thing that we really have to compare it to, would be natural light.
So you're saying because it's a particle and it acts like light, it has to be light?
I'm saying that based off of what we have been shown, and the only thing that we have to go off of is that it acts like light in its speeds. Like it hits its targets instantly. I mean, as good as you can illustrate instantaneous things in media. Like obviously you can't really make something travel an instant on video. In the panels, it's just 1 second, one panel it's not there, one panel it is there. I don't really know how else you would want to quantify an instant. But it travels linearly like light. It's made up of particles, or photons to be specific, like light, and it is depicted in its showings acting like light. I don't know any other way that you could describe light.
So, okay.
And you have lieutenants dodging it. You have Shuhei dodging it, and I love Shuhei, but he's ass. Shuhei's ass.
Hey, let me ask you a question. You brought up something earlier about someone who's like lightning speed, taking like a week to travel between two places. Who's that person?
No, I was saying that Shunpo, the speed technique in Bleach, We have a data book statement if you want to go off of that with Ichigo's fight.
Okay. What is Shunpo exactly? Is it something like body quicker Naruto?
No, well maybe. Shinpo is described as getting from point A to point B in as few steps as possible. So, for example, the Soul Society, or not the Soul Society is the planet. The Seirete, that big ass structure, takes 10 days to get to one gate. There's 4 gates, 40-day, go all the way around it. If you they would try to cross that in 2 steps. That would be a good Shinpo. You crossed 40 days worth of travel in 2 steps. That's how Shinpo is described. There's other techniques though,
Okay, let me stop right there. Is that if someone uses Shunpo, would it be like the same speed as someone else using Shunpo? Or
No,
does the speed depend on the user?
The speed depends on the user. Byakuya and Yoruichi are described as having the best Shunpo. So they are blatantly better than other people in Shunpo. Yoruichi trained Byakuya in Shunpo, whereas somebody like Omaida, the lieutenant for the second division, while he has pretty good Shunpo, it wouldn't be as good as Yoruichi's.
Okay, never mind then. I thought okay. Can you show me the light? Can you show me those statements about the spiritual light being used or being similar to real life light?
I could try to find them. Like I'd say, I didn't expect to actually get into the debate. To be honest, I didn't know that we were up next.
Wait. If I know the scan, CJ, since he's at work, will you be okay with me just telling you what it says? I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
What's the scan you're referring to? If I know it, I'll just say it.
It depends on which one, because there's a lot of statements. Like for instance, steros are described as the spiritual energy mixed with light or spiritual light. You have the
the data book for Sero say they're a spiritual light that hollowed at least.
Yeah, there you go. That would be a fair one. And Negation comes from Hueco Mundo.
Negation is like light that beams down from the sky to collect them, basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you can one spiritual light and the other one is like a spiritual light that comes down from the sky, CJ.
And then you have the Holy Selection, which acts a lot like the Negation, except it wasn't able to be absorbed by Hikifune. So it doesn't have Hikifune can absorb spiritual properties. That's how she heals you. She just amps. It's kind of like I think the thing I would be able to relate it to close enough in Naruto is myopic regeneration, maybe having so many cells multiplied you just heal. She gives you so much Ryatsu that you just heal. At least that was my interpretation of it whenever I read it, and she wasn't able to absorb it on the tree cage.
Oh shit!
The tree cage thing wasn't able to absorb it.
So, based on what Troy said, it says that spiritual light is made of the spiritual energy, right?
Yeah, spiritual energy, that being Ryatsu.
Okay, so if it's made of spiritual energy and it's not made of the same things as light, then why is it light speed?
Because in these instances, you would have to observe how it acts in the world and compare it to how light acts in our world. Negation light beams down in a linear, light doesn't bend. I mean, unless you give it outside influence to make it bend. Speaking off of physics and stuff here. So if it is a beam, which light travels in, or a wave if you want to get into the split, it travels down.
Sure. Okay, let me stop right there. I'm pretty sure I've seen a panel. Someone dropped a panel randomly one time, and it was a panel of bleach light bending. So
depends on which light.
Unless I don't know. I just saw it before, but if what you're trying to say is that it behaves like light, but then you see it bending, then you can't claim it's light speed.
You can claim that if it depends on if it was a technique or if it was a naturally occurring thing. The Negation light is a naturally occurring thing. Seros are used with spiritual light that can be manipulated with the Ryatsu, similar to how Darui's technique in Naruto, Laser Circus, it bends, but it's using reflection off the water, so it's light, right? So I mean, if Darui's light technique can bend with the manipulation of chakra, then the Stero can bend with the manipulation of the Ryatsu in the light.
Okay, so the Ryatsu in the light. You said, if I recall correctly, Ryatsu can take physical forms like fire and like ice, kind of like Yamato shit, which is like all fire.
It doesn't take the. It doesn't take the. I guess you can say take the form. I'm not trying to be like too specific here, but I feel like it's like important to me. His Ryatsu, I guess you could say the reishi vibrates so much it's pure heat. It takes the form of heat. Yeah, you could say forms.
So if it imitates things like in the real world, and it's just an imitation, then why would the imitation be the same as the real thing? It's like why would spiritual light be light speed in this situation?
Because the spiritual light because like the spiritual light keeps up with things that are like shown to not be spiritual light, like the holy selection. If it was spiritual in any way, Hikafune's structure, I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like a cage. It looks like kind of like a cage. In her specific tower in the Soul Palace, if it was spiritual in any way, it would have been absorbed, or it would have been absorbed by the Soul Society Seki Seki, or nullified by the Soul Society Seki Seki Stone, right? Because the Seki Seki Stone negates those abilities, but it didn't stop the Holy Selection from getting in. So the Holy Selection has to be a light.
So you're telling me spiritual light keeps up with something that isn't light speed? Is that what you said earlier?
No,
that isn't spiritual. I mean,
spiritual techniques and spirit are people that have compared like what's that with the glutton's name? Glutton, the G, Sternritter G, the glutton. Lilioto, I think's her name.
Giselle?
She died. Yeah, the little lolly bitch that ate Pede.
Yeah. I think it's Giselle.
Yeah. No, Giselle's a zombie.
Oh, that's a zombie. Then it might be Lily Barra.
No, Lilibaro. Oh, actually, thank you for bringing him up. Lilibaro is literally a being made of light, but I'll bring him up later. Liloto is the little girl that eats people, and like I don't know if she's like a Kirby thing, but it doesn't matter. She dodged the Holy Selection, which is a light attack. It's described as light, but it can't be absorbed by something that absorbs spiritual things, so it has to be.
It's described as light. Is that what you said?
It is described, acts, and functions as light, yes. Like look up the Holy Selection if you. I could probably look that up on like Google.
Somebody take a screenshot of this, bro.
I already addressed the part where it's like just because it acts the same doesn't mean it's light speed because of
what do you have to compare it to?
So like, and then you said it's described as light. Where's the description? Like, can you get it for you?
I'm sorry, I couldn't understand you on that one. What?
I said, I already addressed the axe part. I said it just because it acts that way doesn't mean it's necessarily that speed. And then you mentioned how it's described as light. So I'm gonna ask you to like show me that scan or something.
All right, I could probably just Google.
Or anyone who knows what you're talking about, show me that. I know you're busy.
Holy Selection Bleach. The Ashwallen. That's the name of it. This the English translation. An extension of his ability to distribute pieces of his soul and others who watch him forcibly take power from Quincy's with it. Years ago, used this technique to regain the power during the revival after seeing Quincy, who he deems impure. The true nature of the Ashwallen, however, is power distribution. The power of the Quincy deemed to be useless and collected and redistributed to the ones who need it. I'm sorry, I'm trying to get to the ability description rather than what the ability does. I can give you a scan of it coming down.
Wait. I think I missed CJ when he said something that absorbs spiritual energy, couldn't absorb just light. So it has to be light. What did you respond with?
I asked him, can you bring up the same word it's described as light? Because
he said
that the spiritual light can keep up with Holy Selection. So I'm asking, where does the Holy Selection
I'm saying that Ichigo can keep up and surpass his people who have dodged the Ashwallen. I can use Seros as a separate argument, but the Ashwallen is a different ability. Yuwatch can use Ashwallen to revive fallen Quincy's by stealing the powers and life of the other Quincy, which he does by engulfing his targets in massive columns of light, while his hands glow with light. Quincy's targeted in this manner have their power stolen, even if they manage to avoid the light. It's repeated.
Okay. All right. I don't know enough about Bleach to counter what you're saying, so I'm just gonna say fuck it, bro. How many times faster than light is Ichigo?
That'd be that like we can calculate that. We can that'd be a bit difficult to calculate, but we can calculate it. So Naruto is around like most lieutenants are captain level by the end of by the thousand, but captains are still stronger. So they just keep on getting stronger. So Naruto is swinging with lieutenants. Say for example Renji. Renji's a lieutenant. Renji was able to beat Masculine, for example, who uses another sort of light attack with his star. That one's not really that. Who beat Kensei, who was the captain. Kensei, it's like so. You have like certain like tiers, like these captain levels. Ichigo totally blitzes people that are far above them, such as whenever he's fighting, being able to keep up and perceive Yhwach's attacks, who is the strongest one. Now, Yhwach, after once he activates his fate manipulation, then it's usually over. But that's not really a speed thing because he can see.
I think I get it. So you're trying to say that Ichigo is at least a blitz level faster than light because of all the light speed stuff you explained earlier, and then you said he blitzes someone who's like light speed or something.
I say he blitzes someone who's faster than light speed because you have lieutenants dodging the Yashikon.
Can you put a number on how many times faster? Or no? Can you just say significantly or like a blitz or something?
Yeah, I'd say significantly faster. I do not have a number. No.
Okay.
I can look up a count.
How big is significant in Bleach? Because like for example in Naruto, what's his name? Kid Sasuke without his Sharingan is able to beat up 10% Zabuza clones. Yet Zabuza is like a Jonin, and Jonin have just been shown to be able to blitz Geni over and over and over again. So that would imply that like 10% is kind of significant.
Okay. I'll give you.
How significant is
Soul Society arc Bleach, the second arc in the series. Lieutenants are dodging the Nagashion's light, which is described as light and acts as light.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have those same lieutenants getting absolutely slaughtered by the Arrancar in the Arrancar arc, the next arc, blitzed by those same things. So they're blitzing someone who's already dodged light, right? And then you have Ichigo and Vasto Lorde, for example, one of his more like at the time it was his strongest form, blitzing Okiura, who is debatably the strongest Espada. They are literally ranked in numbers. He's the only one that has a second transformation, which puts him up. It's debatable between which one's stronger, him or Yami, but for the purposes of this debate, I'll say he's the second strongest. Ichigo blitzes him completely, like just absolutely dog walks him, right? And then this Ichigo, after regaining his power from the Fullbring arc, stacks that Fullbring power on top of his Bankai, on top of his like Soul Reaver abilities and his Bankai, which gives him a ×10 increase. It's between ×5 and ×10. But
the thing about that way, let me stop right there. If you're trying to use Bankai scaling or like calc stacking, the thing with that is the Bankai statement goes, it increases your ability as a combatant by 5 to 10 times. And for example, I forgot the name of this guy. When he uses Bankai, he just gets a bunch more blades because he's like a blade user. That increases his combat ability, but it doesn't necessarily make him faster or stronger. So why would it make him faster in Ichigo's case?
I'm almost certain. Well, for one, we the way that Ichigo's abilities are shown in the series is speed. His big sword becomes a very thin sword. He is depicted as beating his Byakuya at Shunpo, which is a speed technique in his Bankai. He couldn't do it in his Shikai. So using a speed technique that Byakuya is more proficient than him in, he blitzes Byakuya with that speed technique in Bankai. And then he's shown cutting up millions of blades all at once that are surrounding him with just one sword in Bankai. Like it's pretty prevalent.
Okay. And then let me just explain this to you again. You said, oh well, he was fighting someone, he then activates Bankai, he's able to blitz them. You still yet to put a number on how fast you need to be to blitz someone in Bleach. Because like the difference between inverse is like it doesn't matter if you're like it doesn't matter if like you need to be 1% faster than someone to blitz them, because like that the numbers don't matter inverse, but prosperous you have to put numbers on it. You still yet to put a number on it. So like you can say he blitzes, but he doesn't prove anything about his speed. You just have him vaguely faster than light, which I could get Naruto vastly above.
Can you get mass? Can you put a number on Naruto? So I can give me an example. Give me a number
Okay,
on
give you an
Naruto.
example.
Yeah.
All right, I got you. Naruto, when he gets KCM, he pulls out 6 tails of half the 9 tails of chakra, and with that, he's able to blitz the Raikage, who should be light speed or close to light speed. So let's just say low ball, he's 1 times the speed of light, just the speed of light. Let's just say that. Then
Okay.
later on, he gets access to the full half of the 9 tails, right? So that's more than a 2 times boost in chakra amount, and therefore that would increase his speed by at least 2 times. And then later on, he gets the other half of Kurama Act. He gets 6 pass stage mode, which makes him incredibly fast and incredibly strong as well, like way faster and stronger than what he was using beforehand. So that like KCM2, which is what I was referring to by like he unlocks the. Okay, let me rephrase that.
Okay.
So when he gets KCM2, he starts using all the chakra of half the 9 tails, right? So now he's like what 33% stronger. So he's like 1.3 times the speed of light with KCM2. And then he activates stage mode. That increases your chakra amount by 33%. Let's just say like 1.6 times the speed of light. And then he gets significantly faster and stronger than Might Guy, who's able
Where
to
did the
blitz
33% increase come from? Well, who gave that number? Who gave that percentage
because when that old frog is explaining how sage mode works, it just says you need a balance of your chakra, your spiritual side of your chakra, your physical part of your chakra, and stage chakra. And it just shows like a wheel, and then it's like split into 1/3.
It's split into 1/3, yeah, but like
that means he
33% of a gallon. 33% of a gallon of water is different from 33% of a bottle of water. You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay, but
the problem is
normally when people are in their base, it's just said that chakra is made up of your spiritual and physical nature. So if you add one more nature and you have to balance it out with the other natures, that's just an increase in like power. It's not like, oh, you reduce the gallon and then fill it with a different type of liquid. It's literally just adding to the gallon.
Yeah. Okay. It seems like you're using It seems like you're using the tail stacks in the same way they were using the Bankai stacks with no number justification on the tail stacks.
I just gave you number justifications. You
gave me number justifications based off of 33.3% of a wheel diagram of an energy. You're not giving me specific numbers.
I'm using that to give you actual numbers. All you said is he gets a blitz faster, and I already explained why a blitz is different throughout different verses, right? So let me just continue. So KTM2 with Sage mode is like 1.6 times the speed of light, and then Might Guy is just way faster than Naruto, and we just know to blitz someone you need to be if I recall correctly.
Quick questions: are calcs allowed? Do you guys use calcs?
You can use whatever you want, King. As long as you can prove it, you can use it.
As long as you can justify it.
I mean, the calcs usually come with the scans that would prove it. But I got to count for the distance of the Soul Palace. I got to count from the distance from the Soul Palace to the Soul Society, which takes a week via Shunpo. So
I'm not even done with my speed skill. I'm not done with my speed skill. You've already about the Shunpo stuff. So I already said like Ichigo is faster than light, but you've yet to put a number on it. So I'm giving you a number for Naruto's speed. That would
I got to come back and put a number on Ichigo's.
8 guy is able to fight Madara, 6 pads Madara, who's significantly faster than Naruto and Sasuke. That puts him around 2 times the speed of light. And then Naruto is able to blitz Madara with his Sage 6 pads mode. That puts him about like 3 times the speed of light. And then he adds on KCM2 on top of that. And I already proved KCM2 is like Naruto isn't even like half the speed of light in base, so that should be like at least another 3 times, if I remember correctly. So that's like 15 times the speed of light, bro. In Sage 6 pads mode.
I'm the worst Palpatine alive.
50. You said 15 times faster than light.
Yeah. Now I want you to give me the exact number for Ichigo, please.
The exact number for okay. So just to reaffirm, so I am fully clear. Tell me how again? 15 times faster than light. How did you arrive at that exact number? How did you arrive at the exact number?
Base Naruto skill is vastly below KCM Naruto. Like to the point where, like, for example, someone who has higher perception than base Naruto is getting perception blitzed by the Raikage, and then Naruto's able to blitz the Raikage. So that's just implied he should be at least half the speed of light. Let's just say in base. That's just an arbitrary number. He's more than likely slower, but I'm just gonna do like a low ball. And then KCM2 makes him 2 times faster. Crap. And then I explained how like he then gains like all the power of Kurama, which is KCM2. That makes him 1.3 times the speed of light because he gains 32% more chakra. And then he adds Sage Mode, which is another 33%. So that's 1.6 times. He then is able to get blitzed by someone who gets blitzed by Might Guy. So that's like 2 times 2, which is like 4 times 1.6, which is like 5 something or whatever.
Okay.
I don't really care at this point. And then Naruto's able to blitz that same Madara who's just blitzing his like 5 times form or whatever.
Okay. So I feel like you're a bit dismissive on the Bankai scaling because it is an overall stat boost. But even if you just want to say that it's only Ichigo that gets the overall stat boost, there are physical feats such as him blitzing Byakuya with a speed technique in Bankai that shows that
he can blitz again. He can blitz Byakuya or however you name.
I'm gonna get to the numbers point.
You've never said.
Yeah, let me finish here, homie. So, Junpo, captain level, lightning speed, 880,000 miles. 880,000 miles per hour is the top. Is the top of MHS plus. If I remember correctly, right?
MHS what? Massively hypersonic.
Massively hypersonic plus. The plus is
right. It's just lightning speed. If it's stated lightning,
okay, you gotta give me time, homie. Lightning speed.
You gotta let him finish it.
Soul Society arc, the second arc. He is blitzing somebody in his Bankai who is moving at lightning speed. Then you have the LTs later on in that same arc dodging the Negation light. These same LTs, which are getting blitzed by the Ronkars that are obviously faster than light. So, okay, fine then. You want to say Ichigo's just faster than light in the beginning of the Hueco Mundo arc. In the beginning, I'll grant you that. Even if the LTs, which are weaker than the captains in the Soul Society arc, are dodging light, we'll say that Ichigo is barely above light speed in Hueco Mundo arc because they're just scaling, right? Then you add the Bankai on top of that, which would be a times 5 to 10 increase in his speed, which we've been shown that his Bankai, at the very least his Bankai, affects his physical stats, right? So then you have another Arankar, Ukiura, blitzing that Bankai Ichigo. Absolutely blitzing him. So Ichigo stacks his mask on top of that, which is another Bankai. It's described as a Bankai increase. So another 5 times low ball 5 times, right? So then that Ichigo somewhat compares. Ukiura goes into his first form, absolutely demolishes Ichigo, then goes into his blitzes Ichigo, then goes into a second form to kind of show off. Ichigo goes into his Vasto Lorde, blitzes the fuck out of second form Ukiura. Now, the resurrections for Espada are described as Bankai increases. It is so Ukiura is already blitzing a Ichigo with a mask who 5 times Bankai, 5 times mask, that's a 10 times increase, just simple math, in base. So then he goes into his first release. That's a 5 times increase, bare minimum. Then he goes into his second release, 5 times increase, bare minimum. Then Vasto Lorde goes into Ichigo blitzes him, 5 times increase, bare minimum if the resurrections are comparable to Bankai, and it's already a second form of Ukiura. So he's blitzing him. So I'm already getting him to like 20, 25 times just from this, like the simple addition that you're doing with the tails and the Raikage.
Let me ask you a question. How does Bankai work? Like, in what way does it increase like your speed? Is it just outright multiplicative, or does it like increase your Ryatsu to the point where it's multiplicative of your current form?
I think it. I want to say that it increases. Yeah, I could find that. I could find that Yoruichi scan. I could probably.
I'm aware of the Yoruichi scan. It's just that as I would like, let me rephrase my question. So,
okay.
Let's say Ichigo has like 100 Ryatsu or whatever, or spiritual energy, and then his Bankai gives him 400 more spiritual energy. Although it's additive, it does increase his combat ability by 5 times, because like 400 plus 100 is 5 times 100. That's just for an example, right?
Yeah.
So I'm asking you, is it like that, or is it just like it just multiplies however much Ryatsu he has currently, or is it just an additive thing? Because like if it's additive, then that just means when it says it's a Bankai level increase, it can be like 400 plus 500, which is 9 times
No,
100.
it's multiplied. It's described as a 5 times increase. So times multiplication. It has to be a multiplication of that. It's not an addition. It's a multiplication. Yeah, like so. In the same sense, that you are stacking the multiplications of Sage Mode and the tails, I can stack in the same, literally the same argument, the Bankai increases, or the similar to Bankai, such as Resurrection Wounds and Masks and Vault Standings. We haven't even gotten to those yet. They're all described as Bankai type things. It's a second form. It's that revitalization. So I can already get Ichigo by the end of the Hueco Mundo arc to 25 times his base speed, which is already light speed at the beginning of the Hueco Mundo arc.
Okay,
By the
that's
same
cool
process that you can get Naruto.
Okay, that's cool enough. Let me remind you how. Okay, so even if I lose the speed skill, Naruto just has precognition that should just outmatch whatever Ichigo's speed is.
Whoa, you have to give a justification over that precognition. Jedis in Star Wars have crazy precognition that
different series, different author interpretations of how precognition works.
Okay, so give me Naruto's definition of how does Naruto's precognition work?
Naruto's definition. I'm just gonna go off Sage Mode. He describes it as danger sense, right? It's like think of it. It's also like similar to Spidey sense, how Spider-Man like just senses things that are coming towards him and he preemptively acts. That's what Naruto's precog is like. So I already explained to you why KCM1 would be at least a 2 times multiplier in speed, and then Sage Mode, although it's slower than KCM1, because its danger sense is so good, it's able to dodge someone KCM1 can't up in close range. That would imply that Sage Mode, base Sage Mode, this is not SO6Ps Sage Mode, is able to increase your precognition by at least 2 times. Or make you faster by at least 2 times due to precognition.
I feel like you're stacking physical amplifications on top of a hacks, which just doesn't work. The hacks is the precognition, its physical capabilities of a 2 times increase, and you have to be able to prove that Naruto's physical muscles, like precognition, is only as good as your body can react. Like I can have precognition 5 seconds into the future, right? But it's not going to help me dodge a 50 cal ring. You know, like it's not going to work.
It will.
No, not at all.
Yes, it will. Let me explain. If the 50 cal is like set at your heart, right, and then you move right before the guy who has the 50 cal pulls the trigger, you're gonna dodge the 50 cal.
Well, you're still gonna die. The shockwave rupture your heart. The shockwave of a 50 cal will kill you if it goes by you. It can pull your brain out your eye socket if it misses your head. And if we're going off of physics here, the same could be applied to any physical ability, right?
Oh my goodness.
But you're like we're talking somebody so if you can get Naruto to 15 times the speed of light, and if you want to stack a hack's ability onto his physicals to increase it somehow by 2 times, that's 30. Well, you will say 30 times the speed of light with precognition. We can do that because I didn't even get to the
I was also gonna add to that. It's not just 30 times. It wouldn't just be 2 times because that's base Sage Mode. SO6Ps Mode is like a super huge chakra amount that's able to like how do I explain?
Can you quantify that chakra amount? Can you quantify that chakra amount?
I was about to.
Okay.
Okay. So say this I already explained to you why more chakra equals an addition and then later on multiplication speed, right? Naruto and Sasuke gain enough 6 Ps chakra to the point where they're able to blitz that same Madara who's just blitzing them. And I already explained blitzing in Naruto would be at least 2 times increase because of the KCM1 shit. So it makes them 2 times faster, and therefore because they use they use chakra to enter Sage Mode, it would also make their precognition 2 times faster. So it's more like 15 times 4, which is 60. So continue with what you were saying about Ichigo.
Ichigo, I haven't even gotten into but if you bringing up that blitzing in Naruto is a 2 times increase based off their chakra amount, I can prove that blitzing in Bleach based off of Ryatsu amount is also a 2 times increase. In the fight with Aizen versus Soifon, Aizen states, after he nullifies the death manipulation, he nullifies the technique with pure Ryatsu. He states, I have doubled the Ryatsu of a captain class Shinigami. Now, quantifying the difference between lieutenant and captain isn't really relevant. All I need to show is that he states it is a two times difference between him and Soifon, a captain. So that would apply the same logic that you're using for chakra onto the Ryatsu, that it's a 2 times. I already got Ichigo up to like 25 times. Yeah.
Okay, so you said Aizen says that he has 2 times the Ryatsu of what's his name?
In base. In base. He was in base whenever he did that to Soifon. He was standing there in his base. Yes. In base. But if through my scaling, I got Ichigo to 25 times by the end of the Hueco Mundo arc via the Blitz scaling. And I have that 2 times, like at minimum, you need 2 times to Blitz via Ryatsu off that Aizen scaling. And then you get into the Fullbring arc, which has people like Tsukishima swapping. Yeah, what's up?
All right, so you said you need to be at least 2 times to blitz someone. Can you prove it? Like, okay, although I will say Aizen does blitz that person, whoever, with 2 times the Ryatsu they have. Yeah, Soifon. Does that mean that like if you have 1.9 times the amount of Ryatsu Soifon has, does that mean you're not going to be able to blitz Soifon? So like, what's like the lowest limit for blitzing?
I don't know the lowest limit for blitzing. All we have is the bare minimum limit for blitzing. Do you have a lowest limit blitzing?
No, so what you're saying? So what you're saying is that if you have 2 times more Ryatsu than someone else, you can blitz them. But what you also said with that statement is that you don't know the lower limit. So therefore, anyone with like 1.1 times Ryatsu than the other person could probably blitz them or whatever, because you haven't been able to prove what you just said. So like, I'll grant you that.
What do you mean I haven't been able to prove
it?
What do you mean I haven't been able to prove it? If I'm just using the same method.
You yourself said you don't know the lower limits of how. You yourself said you don't know the lower limits of how much more Ryatsu you need to have than someone else to blitz them. So I'm saying.
Do you know the lower limits of how much chakra you need to blitz to not be able to blitz them?
I already explained to you. Like that.
No, you explained the upper limit.
The 50 times. The 60 times thing was a low ball because like I already explained to you 10% is significant, and like Naruto can't perceive the Raikage, but he can blitz him with KCM1, so that would be over 10 times. Or sorry, more than 10 times.
If you want to go with highball estimates, we perfectly can. I've been lowballing the bleach estimates this whole time. I've been using the 5 times multiplier instead of the 10 times multiplier. I could easily justify the 10 times multiplier, giving that Ichigo, an untrained, barely fresh like greenhorn Shinigami, just got his powers a month ago, was fighting a captain class Shinigami, 250 years old, and a master of Shunpong, blitzing him in his Bankai. I feel like that is narratively a justification for a 10 times increase. And all the people that he's fought are the strongest in the situations that he's in, with arguably Yami being a bit stronger than Ukiura, but it took Kenpachi and Byakuya to take him down at the same time. So if you want, we can highball and I can go to 10 times increase, but that just gets him from 25 times to 50 times by the end of the Hueco Mundo arc alone. That's not even talking about his Dongdai transformation.
If I also highball, it isn't just a 2 times thing, because at the start of Naruto Shippuden, Naruto encounters Sasuke, and then Sasuke blitzes Naruto and the rest of Team 7 at the time, who Naruto should be around the same level of, right? And then
no, he should not be around the same level of Sasuke, not at all. So at the beginning of Shippuden,
I'm saying Naruto. My fault. I should rephrase that. Naruto should be around the same speed as the rest of the members of Team 7, which is Sai, Sakura, and Yamato at the time.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So and like Sasuke blitzes him, and then and Naruto's witness CS2 just stated to increase your chakra by 10 times. So like, and I already explained why more chakra equals more speed, right? So then during the Kakuzu fight, Naruto slams a Rasen Shuriken into what's his name, Kakuzu. He's like, I feel like I caught up to Sasuke, which means that the Rasen Shuriken has some sort of special property that allows him to tag people faster than him.
I wouldn't say that. Catching up to Sasuke and being fast.
If he uses the Rasen Shuriken, he doesn't go from 60 times FTL. He goes all the way to 600 times.
Not at all. Using that as a justification for the speed multiplier is just crazy, in my opinion.
Then how would Naruto be able to tag someone who just blitzed him?
Do you mean tag the person that has been fighting 3 other people or two other people the entire time while Shikamaru's dealing with Hidan? The person that's in a 3v1 situation.
No. I'm referring to Sasuke. Because after he does the Rasen Shuriken, Naruto says, I feel like I'm equal to Sasuke now.
No,
And
he
it's
does
just
not say
narratively
equal.
implied.
He
Every
says
time,
caught up.
yeah, caught up. Okay, so they're relative, right? Same speed range, right? So that means it's a really high multiplier in speed. And like, what else would there be to justify the speed increase if not the Rasen Shuriken? And we know, like,
the Rasen Shuriken doesn't increase your speed. It's a forbidden. We have a description of what the Rasen Shuriken does, and it attacks your cells with like a bunch of like a billion fucking needles. Can you show in the description of the Rasen Shuriken the ability you're talking about that we have? Why wouldn't it take the time to describe any of the other?
It doesn't need to be stated to be implied. My implication is that Sasuke is not only just a blitz level above. That's how I've already established this at least 2 times faster. Not only does he have CS2, which is 10 times, so he's 20 times faster than Naruto with his CS2 on. And then after Naruto uses the Rasen Shuriken, he says, "I feel like I've caught up to Sasuke." That implies that the Rasen Shuriken has another hidden ability that allows him to be 20 times faster than normal.
No, it just implies that Naruto, while mastering a forbidden technique, his own jutsu, him adding the wind chakra nature to the Rasengan, it implies that he has skill comparable to Sasuke's. Sasuke didn't get faster because skill. It implies that like with jutsu, it implies that he got like around the same skill level. It does not imply physical capabilities. That's like saying Sasuke got faster because he created the Karin. The Karin's a fast technique, but it doesn't make Sasuke faster. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, but the problem with what you're saying is when you say skill, Kakashi, when he's like after the Kakuzu fight, Kakashi has an internal monologue. He's like, Naruto surpassed me, despite Naruto not being on nearly as much missions as Kakashi, not being nearly as old. Therefore, he should also be more skilled. He's like, oh, Naruto surpassed me at this point. He's like, Sasuke, you made him strong. So it's referring to strength. It's referring to power, which is strength and speed, and not just necessarily skill. Because more skilled person than Naruto says Naruto surpassed him.
Not Sasuke, sorry. Kakashi takes that back. Kakashi takes that statement back about
maybe that could be here's why. Because Naruto is banned from Rasen Shuriken. So therefore, if you can't use this move that makes him 20 times faster, then Kakashi's like, you may surpass me, which implies that it hasn't happened yet, but one day you will. But if Naruto
but that doesn't justify it being a speed increase. That justifies it being a skill increase. He hasn't surpassed me in skill. You have to give him skill.
I already explained. Kakashi.
Your explanation wasn't sufficient.
He surpassed me. You surpassed me, and Sasuke made you strong. And how is strength equivalent to skill? How is strength equivalent to skill?
When it comes to chakra, whenever you can enhance your abilities through chakra, like your speed and your strength through chakra, maybe his skill with chakra and chakra control, which he needed to master chakra control to get the Rasen Shuriken to work. That's his whole training with Asuma. That's why he was splitting the leaves and using his clones so he can master his chakra control. Everything points to this being.
If you're going by skill and chakra control, you realize Naruto is stated, like, I'm pretty sure somewhere stated that Naruto is like suppressing the Nine Tails with his own chakra all the time, right? And he doesn't have full control of his chakra until he starts partnering with Kurama and they become friends, which is like case into Biju Seidemo type shit, right?
Yeah.
You realize what you're saying is that if he masters chakra control to a certain level, he then surpasses Kakashi. Makes no sense if Naruto's always suppressing himself with Kurama shit. The Kurama shit.
Him suppressing Kurama's chakra has nothing to do with his own natural chakra reserves. Like if he's surpassing Kakashi with his own natural chakra reserves,
he brought up chakra control as a reason why he can catch up to Sasuke.
And I'm saying because he can do a jutsu. It's about a jutsu that requires chakra.
And I'm saying that isn't the case because he still has to suppress the Nine Tail up until the moderate stuff.
So what's your highball? Like, I need a definitive number of.
Okay, my highball is using my Rasen Shuriken argument for 20 times. I said 60 times 20. What is that? 1,200.
Yeah, that'd be 12.
1,200 times the speed of light. And if you use your 10 times arguments, that just means he's like 2 times faster than before because 10 is 2 times 5.
If you want to, did you cut out? I'm sorry, you abruptly stopped. I want to make sure you're here.
My fault. Let me repeat what I said. So, oh my god, I'm so sorry, man. I don't really usually debate this way, but like I have to win. All right. So
dude, get heated, man. Get heated. We're arguing, dude. This is fun. Come on. Throw an insult if you want. I don't give a fuck.
As I was saying, using the Rasen Shuriken stuff, which is 20 times Naruto, which amps Naruto's speed by 20 times, which I already explained with the Sasuke stuff. I use
Okay.
my initial 60 times multiplier, multiply that by 20, and then 20 times 60 is 1,200 to get Sage Mode Naruto at 1,200 times the speed of light.
Okay, 1,200 times the speed of light. Okay, dude, awesome. Okay, so highballing with Ichigo, if you and going off the Aizen statement, needing 2 times Ryatsu to cancel out abilities, and if you're outright negating something with your Ryatsu is just so much stronger. Ryatsu directly correlates to physical strengths via Aizen statements, Kenpachi statements, etc., etc. So you need at least 2 times to blitz somebody in Bleach. Same as Naruto. Not Naruto, I'm sorry. Ichigo, I'll take it back to the Soul Society arc. Ichigo is blitzing Ikaku, a lieutenant. In the Soul Society arc, right? Negation Light, a light-based attack. Lieutenants dodge that. Shuhei dodged that. Shuhei, who has almost no physical feats in that arc compared to Ikaku, who was one of the main antagonists for Ichigo in that arc, dodges light, and Ichigo's already blitzing him. So there you go, 2 times speed of light in base, right? Then he fights a captain in Bankai. He uses he fights a captain who is blitzing Ichigo outright. Byakuya is blitzing the fuck out of Ichigo while Ichigo's in his base Shikai. He's always in Shikai this week. So there you go, 2 times increase. There you go. That's 4. That's what, 4 times? That's 4 times. And then you add the Bankai onto that. So there you go. That's times 10 for highballing. That's 40 times in the Soul Society arc that he's faster than light. Then you get to the Hueco Mundo arc, where he is getting blitzed by people like Ukiura in his base. Ukiura's base. So base Ukiura faster than 60 times the speed. 80 times the speed of light, because 2 times 40, right? If base Ichigo by the end of the Soul Society arc is 40 times the speed of light, going off of your kind of scaling, then that would make Ukiura 80 times the speed of light. Then Ichigo applies his mask, which allows him to be relative, which is a times 10 increase, which allows him to be relative to Ukiura. Ukiura goes into first form, blitzes immediately. Times 2, 160 times the speed of light. Then he goes into another release, which is another times 10 increase. So what's 160 times 10? What's 160 times 10? That's 1,600? I can get 1,600 times the speed of light before the Hueco Mundo arc even ends with your kind of scale. So by the end of the series, after he's literally blitzed the fuck out of Aizen, yeah, I could stop at 1,600 if the max you can get is 12. But then I can add blitzing Aizen on top of that.
Keep in mind, I only applied the Rasen Shuriken, not the Stage of 6 Paths precog on top of it. The Stage of 6 Paths precog,
you can't quantify the Stage of 6 Paths precognition.
You already agreed with my number of 120, which is already based on the 4 times Stage of 6 Paths precog thing. So if I apply that again after the Rasen Shuriken,
can you justify the? I got a question. I did real quick. I got a question. Can you justify the precognition being good enough? And I have another argument for the precognition. Can you justify the precognition being good enough to allow Naruto to physically move his body? Because it doesn't do shit if you can't physically keep up with the person to a certain extent. Can you justify the precognition amping his speed enough to overcome a 1,000-time difference? Because I stopped at 1,600.
I think I already addressed that earlier. All right.
You addressed that it increased the speed.
I addressed the Stage of 6 Paths stuff earlier, right? So I suggest we move on to something else, right? We've already.
I feel like you're trying to dance around that. I feel like you're trying to, because you can't quantify.
Here's the thing. If you believe you won so much, and I'm trying to dance around it, then the judge can just say that you won that point and you win the debate. Because what's Naruto gonna do when Ichigo speed blitzes? Right?
I'm gonna throw one more thing in there. Then, if you're ready to end it, you watch. If you want to talk precognition, seeing the future, that's Watch's whole ability. He can see not only the future of his timeline, the possibility of every other timeline, every single future. And he was able to, people like Ichibe and people like Aizen were able to lock with him, were able to fuck with him, right? So then Ichigo, through the help of people, was able to outright defeat him. But Ichigo, during the Horn of Salvation, which I'm using, right, he was able to lock with Yawatch in the Wanda Knight. He was able to use the Grand Ray Zero to almost tag Yawatch. Yawatch had to react to that and grab it. And it was like this close to his face. So he's already He has experience fighting somebody with vastly superior precognition to Naruto, and I can get him faster than Naruto.
Okay. Let me address that argument, and then we can finally move on. All right, real quick.
Sounds good. Sounds dope. Danny,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm yelling, man. All right, never mind.
All right. My last. Okay. From what I understand, Yeeha's ability, it works by he can see the future, right?
Do you want me to
just 'cause he can
describe
see
it? No, he
it's
can
fine.
see
From
every.
what I recall, from what I gained from your explanation, he can see the future, and therefore he has like insane precog, right?
He can see every possible future. I feel like that's very important.
Every possible future.
He
Okay.
can see every
Why is he
possible
always
future.
looking at
Only to lose Nolan.
why is Yeeha always looking at why is Yeeha always looking at the one where he dies? Because like if he isn't looking at the one where he dies, then that means he doesn't scale. That means the precog feat doesn't really work.
If he's only looking at he can see them all at the same time. It's viewed as grains of sand, looking at grains of sand from the top. It's like a bird's eye view of every possible future. It's not like he's has a crystal ball that can go back and forth to all of them. He sees every possible future simultaneously. It blows Naruto's precog out of the water by a vast margin.
You know, like how Sage mode increases like your danger sense. Sage Jiraiya still gets caught off guard just because he has the ability to look at everything. Does that mean he's going to be paying attention to that specific one where he does die?
I feel like danger sense and being able to see every possible timeline simultaneously are two vastly different things, and one is significantly more potent, obviously more potent. If you want to talk, if you want to argue about the potency of the
they're both forms of precog, right?
One's better, but yeah.
Right.
I mean, like, is it not better?
If they're both okay, I'm gonna ask if they're both forms of precog, and I already explained why precog doesn't mean that you're gonna dodge everything. With the Sage Jiraiya example, it doesn't matter how much more potent his precog is. My argument still stands. Now, please, let's just move on. We've been on this for such a long time.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. We can move on.
All right, so okay.
I'm gonna get a sip of water real quick. You can go ahead, guys.
All right, I'll just wait till you get your water.
Oh, I got it right here beside me. I'm ready.
Okay. So basically, we argued. I said I'm fine with Naruto and Ichigo being of similar strength, and I asked if Ichigo was faster. We just argued. No, I'm just recapping what just happened because I forgot what I was going to say afterwards.
Okay.
I mean, if it's been going on too long and we have to move to conclusion, but
No. The only reason y'all would have to is if y'all both want to conclude the debate right now. Y'all can go on if y'all want, or y'all can conclude. Doesn't matter.
All right, dope.
So basically, let's just go into win cons. Basically, with what I'm saying is that if
win
cons.
Wait, no. What's the win cons? You jumping all the way to win cons? We haven't covered we haven't covered physicals. We haven't covered hacks or techniques or abilities.
Wait,
CJ,
wait, hold on. Did CJ not say whoever wins speed could win?
No, I don't think he
do that.
I don't think he outright said whoever wins speed can win. He said that he was ready.
Yeah, I kind of did. I said that like.
Wait. There's nothing to argue about. I'm just saying. Do y'all want to do whoever wins speed wins, or do y'all want to go over everything?
I want to do whoever wins speed wins.
What about you, Apocrypha?
I mean, I kind of cut my speed scaling short because he wanted to move on. I stopped at 1,600 times the speed of light by the end of the.
But yeah, no. He's basically saying if I judge that went through for you, you would win the whole debate.
Okay, then yeah, sure, fine. I'm down to catch up.
So y'all want to have judgment?
Sure.
I do think Apocrypha did win, but even though you've been gone for 2 years, that 10 years debating experience, you got pretty good rhetoric, man.
Bro, dude, people are mean on Amino, okay? You had to be. They will be so fucking mean to you. But yeah, I mean.
CJ, have you read Bleach?
No, not a single panel.
CJ, I agree with your side, but I can tell that you didn't read Bleach.
Not a single
how
panel.
You were responding.
That was a really fucking good debate.
Yeah, that was a good debate. So I'm about to tell Six that they need to teach me how to log shit. So I'm about to tell Six to log your shit.
Troy, I just want to say I've been binging
Troy,
content.
Light.
I just want to say to Troy.
What's up?
I've been binging your content. Like I found you through 6. So fucking keep up the good work, man. I'm really fucking enjoying
hey, CJ, hey, that's why you a real ass nigga, bro. See you the realest nigga alive, bro. No cap. But CJ, good job. I'm still proud of you, CJ. You have been getting better and shit, man.
Good job, CJ. That was a really good debate. I had fun.
Me too.
Yeah. Difficulty, I'm gonna tell 6 mid to high. Yeah, look like you knocked off the rust mid debate. You had a pretty rough start, Apocrypha. Like you were pretty slow, then you started knocking off the rust. I'm like, oh shit, okay.
I appreciate it.
CJ, are we gonna do this now?
Bro, let it be like the main event of the night, bro. I just got done after like what, an hour debate.
Hey, listen, bro. As per your request,
I'm gonna try to fucking mute because thanks for the debate, man. I really enjoyed it.
That was wholesome.
No problem. Good job, man.
You win.
Yo, where the fuck is Reborn then? He said he was gonna debate me this.
Good to be CJ.
I love CJ.
I didn't think that was gonna get it. I started ratting so hard. I'm like,
bruh, I don't know why you did. Like, why did you? Is this the dude I told you to debate on Bleach versus Naruto? Or was that someone else? I thought it was someone else.
I'm pretty sure.
The one you're thinking of is Rico. And the one I just debated is Apocrypha.
Oh, because I was gonna like talk to you about Bleach scaling because I read it and I was gonna talk to you about it. Like,
hey, can y'all hear me, bro?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
That nigga say he cut his scale off halfway when they argue speed for like a fucking hour and a half.
Hey, cause like, okay, when it gets into speed, for every verse, there's so many lines of scaling that you could go with. People typically like to cover everything, so whichever one hits